guys, in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make your own marble surface for picture purposes, or in my case, my nightstand. We're going to need a rag, some scissors, the surface you want to put the contact paper on, a measuring tool, and of course the contact paper. Here we're going to be measuring the surface to see how much contact paper we're going to need. It's not going to have to be too exact since we're going to want to add an inch around all over to make sure that we have enough to wrap around. Here we're going to be measuring the contact paper, and we want to make sure to add an extra inch from the length and width of the surface alone. Here I'm just making a little cut because I didn't have a writing utensil on me, so I wanted to make sure that I had it at the right spot. And then we're going to measure the width and start cutting. Here we're just going to be removing the back of the contact paper, and we want to make sure to do this as slowly as possible because we don't want the contact paper to stick onto itself. Here I'm just sticking the contact paper on to the glass, and the good thing about contact paper is that if you make a mistake, you're able to unattach it from the surface and reattach it again. So here I'm just going over it with the rag to make sure that we get most of the bubbles taken care of. It's possible to do it by yourself. I just had my cousin helping me because the glass was sliding all over the place. And we're just gonna flip it over so we can start dealing with the back. Here we're going to be cutting the squares at the edges of the contact paper to make sure that it's as smooth as possible on the bottom. Since I'm using mine as a top to my nightstand, I want to make sure that it doesn't look clunky from the bottom. Okay, and since I'm going to be using mine as display, I want to make sure to pull on the edge as tight as I can to make sure it looks as realistic as possible. And you just want to make sure to do that to all four sides so that it's all even. So then we flip it over to deal with any big bubbles that we may have. Here I'm using the earrings that I was wearing that day, and I'm just poking small little holes in the middle of the bubbles and just smoothing it out with my fingers to make sure that I get all the air out. And here's an example of what it looks like in pictures. Okay, and here's a quick before and after of what it looks like on my nightstand. Thank you guys so much for watching. All the information about the contact paper and the nightstand will be down below, as well as any information as to where to follow me.